Hello all. I hope you've had a good day. I worked my 14-hour day today. All good. It was a good day. Picked up a lot of nuggets and I'm still feeling very energized. So, all good in the hood. It's so crazy. This little world I live in. This little community. This little world all of us live in, really. I mean, it is quite crazy. I'm sure everybody walks outside and is like, what's going on? What's that song? I mean, really. What's going on? We're all living our own little Truman Show. Some more on the full front, some not. But whatever, we're all living our own Truman Show. There's a couple things that came to me today. I wanted to talk about this because it needs to be talked about. And so I decided to talk about it. So a year ago, October is when I started making my videos. October 2024 is when I started making my videos. And I started making my videos for a couple of reasons. All right. I started making my videos because I knew that I was living in a false reality and I knew I was being attacked. But I knew that the system and my government was somehow involved. I knew it. I didn't have the proof, but I do have the proof. But I knew when it came to the judicial system and like all these, I knew somehow it was all entangled. And just given everything that I've pieced together to this point, plus my mountains of receipts that I have now, but I knew. And so I knew that I was being called to start speaking and fight for my freedom by using my voice and advocating. On the other side of the fence, I also knew that God was calling me to start putting my testimony out, start making my videos, start operating in the way that I knew him and I had been working frivolously for that last year and like 6 months. And just, so if you go back in all my videos all the way from a year, you'll see the growth and the transformation. You just will. And so I've kind of put it out there for the world to see. Because God knew how I would operate with speaking and just being true and transparent and honest and authentic and heartfelt and genuine and relatable and not looking to try to gain anything, because I'm never looking to try to gain anything. I've never been a gold digger. I've never been anyone like that. And everybody in my world, past, present, and future, knows that. They know that. And I know that. And with every beacon, fiber, bone of my body, that's why I walk so confidently and so boldly, because I know who I am. I know who I am now, and I knew who I was before. And I was broken before, and I was unhealed, and I was battling addictions, and I was battling social conditioning, and I was battling living in a reality surrounded by people that were siphoning from me and stealing from me and reaping the fruits while I'm like down here digging for dirt, and they're like throwing rocks at me. They're literally throwing rocks at me while I'm digging for dirt, creating circumstances and situations where I had no other way to get out. And they knew that. They knew that. They strategically planned it that way. They did. Hands down, without a doubt. 100%. 100%. And every single one of them entangled know it. They know it. And I know it too. And if they think the truth's not going to come out, keep watching. Keep watching, because it is going to come out, and it is already coming out. Your false facade and your fake mask are falling. Slowly but surely, just as I've been saying it for how long now? A year. But we can keep playing these games. I'm down to play. So that's why I started making videos. All right. Now, do I have plans in the future in reference to my brand, where I want to go with it? Absolutely. Am I in any type of hurry? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Based off everything and what happens in the day-to-day right now, quite frankly, I am so invested in getting through the rest of this year and just enjoying the fact that I've made it this far and lifting myself up and giving myself peace and space to appreciate how far I've come and also appreciate the fact that I have absolutely nothing to prove. I'm not here to chase any invisible ladder, and I dang sure ain't here to chase clout, fame, or money. That's the last thing on my list. The last thing on my list. It's actually nowhere on my list. Nowhere. You know, and so I move and operate in the way that I do in my day to day because it works for me and it brings me peace. And I know how important it is to carry peace because I know what it feels like to not walk in peace. And why would I ever want to do that to myself again? Never. And so there's a nugget for you in reference to my videos. Organized retail investigation. It's been brought to my attention that my local law enforcement and other counties have come together and built a organized retail investigation unit. I work at a retail store and I'm here for it. But like when my manager was telling me, I'm like, well, they need to work on some other organized crimes happening in their local community. I could think of a few. So I'm confident that they have now put together an organized retail investigation unit in the great Okaloosa County. I am more than confident that they can now slap over and perhaps create an organized crime investigation unit in the business operations and the underground networks and the religious groups of their local community. I'm confident that they can. This is stuff I'm talking about. This is ridiculous. I'm glad that they have this. But there is beyond an amount of organized crime happening in my community and the community involvement that's went to the great lengths between the practitioners, all the doctors. I'm working on getting all my medical records now for my timeline. Like, I'm getting down to the nitty gritty of my timeline. I'm also getting down to all the emails that I sent, all the complaints that I sent, my FBI complaints, and then the officer that came to my door. I mean, I'm getting it all down. All of it for it to go out. All of it. So take that, spin it, run it, and do what you guys do with it. I wish I knew then what I know now. Katy Perry song. That was a Katy Perry song. And it was a lyric in it. I wish I knew then what I knew now. And it came to me. I said, how you know then what you know now, how would it not have walked you through? If you hadn't walked through what you did then, how would you know what you do now? You wouldn't. So again, let me repeat that. If you didn't walk through what you walked through, how would you know now what you knew then? You wouldn't. You learn every day based off the things you go through that day. And then everything you go through that day, you gain knowledge, you gain wisdom, you gain fortitude, you gain resilience, you gain power, you gain faith, you gain nuggets, you gain gifts, you gain this, you gain that, right? That then helps you know now what you wish you would have known then. And that's the beauty of it. That's how my mind operates. You know, I worked with a beautiful woman tonight, another new coworker. Her name's Amanda. It was like the Amanda nights, and she was fantastic. I loved our conversations. She's in property management. We had great conversations. And, you know, it's one of those things. Right now, the world is being ran by very, very greedy people. I'm taking advantage of all the systems, every single one of the systems, even in the military operations of it. I mean, everything. It's sick. You have people that have 2, 3, 4, 5 incomes coming in, and you got people out here that can't even get one income. And if they have one income, they can't even live off the one income that they do bring in. Make that make sense, guys. Make that make sense. So it doesn't make sense. So we have a greedy world and we live in it. And so the only way for you to find peace is to not run alongside greed and not give money value. And if you choose to, well, that's fine. Do it. But you're not going to move in peace. Money doesn't bring you peace. Power doesn't bring you peace. Just ask those with a lot of money and power. They're not in peace. Otherwise, they wouldn't want more.